Welcome to Dodger Fan Weekly. I'm Adele.
And I'm Anadel.
And we love the Dodgers. We swept the Diamondbacks. I mean, that was huge because they were really tough games. That's our direct
All one-run games,
competition.
by the way.
Yes. And when the bullpen goes bad and people start hating them, you know,
The hitters
we come
come
back.
through.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when the hitters can't come through, the pitching has been fantastic.
It's just, it's a great run. We're in first place, and as a bonus, the Giants are in last place. That always feels good when you're a Dodger fan.
Well, and now we're going into the All-Star break.
And I don't know about you, but I need a break from the All-Star break.
It's been a strange week here in Los Angeles.
It sure has.
And the All-Star game is supposed to feel good and
Yeah,
fun.
you know, it was started in 1933 in conjunction with the Chicago World's Fair as an exhibition
Yes.
to show how fun baseball is.
Yes. And so how did we get here?
I don't know.
Well, let's
It's
talk
been
about that
crazy.
for a second.
Okay.
Because in 1933, it was an exhibition game, but of course it was so popular that they kept it going.
Right.
And so in 1933 and 1934, the fans actually selected the 9 starters on each team.
Okay.
Okay?
And then they stopped in 1935?
Well, from 1935 for 10 years to 1946, we can count. In 1945, there
World
was
War
no
II,
game.
no
Yeah,
game.
there was a big war. So for 10 years,
Yeah.
the
Managers picked all of the players.
Yes.
And then in 1947, they started putting ballots back in the stadiums, right? So
Yes.
in 1947, the fans started voting again.
Yes, and you could mail them in or turn them in somewhere.
Right.
Right. And then after 10 years, in 1957, there was a huge scandal.
What was that?
It was a ballot stuffing scandal. The Cincinnati Reds, they had 7 of the 8 players voted in on the team for the National League. The only one that wasn't
A red.
was Stan Musial. Couldn't forget him. He was a
Yeah,
Cardinal.
He was a Cardinal.
So
how did they get the ballots
Well, the
stuffed in?
commissioner, Ford Frick was his name,
Uh-huh.
he did an investigation and he found out that the Cincinnati Enquirer actually put pre-marked ballots in their Sunday paper.
Every Sunday?
Every Sunday.
So it made it easy for all the Cincinnati fans to vote.
Yes. So guess what? Ripped right away from the fans again.
No more
For
fan
12
input.
years.
Yeah.
12 years.
Well, what happened with that is fans started to lose interest in the All-Star game, right? Because the fans weren't involved.
Right. So they brought it back in 1970.
1970, the written ballots in the stadiums.
Speaking of written, Steve Garvey was a write-in vote. There's only but a couple.
In 1974,
Yes.
and he was the All-Star of that All-Star game.
Yes, he was.
The MVP.
Anyway, so now it leads us to since 2002, we no longer write things. We do it on computer. 2002, the All-Star final vote.
Right, and you could vote each fan up to 25 times.
Right. So it's like condoned stuffing. Anyway, so that leads us to,
Where we are now.
and where are we?
Breaking news.
There was a storm in Los Angeles this week.
All about the All-Star game.
Lines were drawn in the sand.
Dodgers fan against Dodgers fan.
Twitter friends against Twitter friends.
On one side,
The Kenley Jansen comments that Dodger fans are lazy and they didn't vote.
on the other side, the bad TV deal. If you can't see the team, you can't vote for the players.
Then the voting frenzy started.
The final vote came out for Justin Turner, who made it to the All-Star game. Good night and good news.
I don't know what happened, but in Los Angeles, there was so much stress surrounding the All-Star game. And
well, the thing was, the All-Star game is coming up, and the Dodgers have the best team in the National League, one of the best teams in baseball, and Dodgers were not being voted onto the team.
yes, and why is that?
Why was that?
Well, some people thought that the fans were lazy. Could be. I don't know. A player actually said that the fans were lazy.
That's true,
Well,
but
and then some people speculated it was the TV deal.
which is fair, and some journalists wrote about that too, because if you can't see the team, you don't know which players to vote for, right?
Exactly. And maybe it's because Dodgers fans are voting for other players besides Dodgers, because it is an all-star game.
Right, right. So you vote for the best player.
Right. And yet, people were upset.
Up in arms.
So this is how we got to this week. There was a lot of stress. There was a lot of blame throwing. It was pretty scary.
The best and the worst came out of Dodgers fans for sure.
For
It
sure.
was a little bit stressful, I thought.
And so,
What's the spirit of the All-Star game?
What
What's
is
the
the-
purpose?
it's an exhibition. It's for us to take a break and have fun.
All we know is the Dodgers fans are not lazy.
No, and all the Dodgers are all-stars.
And when it comes to the TV deal,
no comment.
congratulations to Dorothy Thompson, who correctly answered our last episode's question and won this Kenley Jansen bobblehead.
And if you answer this week's question correctly, you get to win this fun travel bag and not one, but 2 Dodger beach towels to have a break during the All-Star break. The question is,
What year was Steve Garvey the write-in candidate for the All-Star game? I'm Adele.
I'm Anadel.
Don't forget to tweet.
See you next time.